please. This is another Absolute Sabers live stream.
For the Republic!
For the Republic.
For the Republic.
I love it.
Tim, I need you to get me like a, I don't know, like a Kylo Ren one or something as well, or something like. I need to like pay you or something to do like just a smattering of different characters.
You don't have to pay me. I'll do it for free.
Oh, you're a gentleman, man. Good evening, everyone. How are we?
Doing really good.
Awesome.
Good.
Doing very well, thank you.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Evening in the chat, we've got Paul. My lives have been for the past week a little bit on the quieter side. I don't know if it's just people's schedules or what it is. And goodbye, Matt.
Okay, bye, Matt.
You'll be back in. Yes, MNT Labs, how you doing? That's a mouthful. That is a mouthful. Oh, there he is. He's back.
I don't know what's going on. My iPad's losing its fucking life.
Yeah, dude, you made the stream. Always do. And Paul, thank you for your super thanks a couple of weeks back. I really appreciate that, bro. Oh, it's pronounced basement? Well, I'm a dumb fuck, aren't I?
That makes a lot of sense. Now I'm sitting there.
It does. Every time this dude fucking comments on something, I have anxiety. Like, I need to say that. I'm trying to do my alphabet in the head. But yeah. So what's up, guys? How are we? We good? Good week? Yeah. Long time no see with some of y'all.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, we've had a lack of your live streams.
Yeah, it's been a long week for me.
There's a lack of pretty much everything for a while, for a hot minute there. But that's
life,
listen, guys. Huh?
That's life.
That is life.
Mm-hmm.
That's life. Yep, that is. But gents, thank you for giving me your time. Appreciate it as always. First time on the channel for Mr. Gianni V.
Welcome. Yeah.
Welcome. If you haven't watched Wookiee Whispers from last week, sat down, had a real great conversation with Gianni. So go and watch it, please.
Absolutely.
And some of the usual suspects: Nerd Dad, Chris, Tim, Darth Rage, the DeLorean Elvis, and a freshly shaven Matt Batmando.
Yeah, as they were calling me backstage, I'm an imposter.
It's an imposter. It's an imposter.
You're not even Matt anymore. You're just Matthew.
Yeah, that is. He's gone from Matt to Matthew, right? That's the thing.
He's the evil twin.
The evil twin.
Yeah, it's the reverse of the mirror universe in Star Trek.
I don't know. Maybe Matt was the evil one, and we don't even know it.
I don't know.
Hey, that sounds like a show we're watching.
Oh, it sounds like it.
I might just shave it all off for next week and join.
Just wait until the next video comes out, then you'll know for sure.
No, Sam, just shave half of it and just look at the camera like this.
You're right.
And then when you have another conversation with the other you, just turn.
Then you want to be evil, Sam. Turn this.
I'll move the monitor to like here, right, and I'll be like this. They go, what do you think? I don't know.
Isn't there a video of someone doing that too? Is it
Probably
someone doing Smeagol, I think, or something? Where there's just two different cameras. This angle, he's evil, and this angle, he's like positive or something like that. It's the same person. It's pretty funny.
Oh, it's hilarious, man. I love that. Whenever I do like shave, like I usually do the beard trim and the head shave at the same time, and I'll always wind Louise up with it. So I'll do like half the beard and do like a massive line in the head and just walk in and sit down, and we'll see how long it takes her to notice. And then she'll look and she'll go, "For fuck's sake, not again." One of these days, I will forget that I've done it because she will not notice, and I will leave the house.
Just
like
don't shave your beard, don't shave your head, but shave your eyebrows and see what happens.
No, I look like a thumb, bro. Come on, couldn't do that.
From Spy Kids.
Damn.
I've never seen me clean shaven. I was clean shaven last summer, Louise. Where the hell were you?
I was gonna say, didn't you like shave everything off?
Yeah, there was a lice incident of 23. I think I remember that.
There was a lice. Yeah, there was a lice incident of 23. It was fucking horrendous. So it was like, goodbye. Everything gone. Only hair I had left was my eyebrows and my armpits and a smattering.
Yeah, she didn't even notice.
Did you? Oh, yeah, you didn't even notice. That just goes to show. That's why we're not fucking married.
Oh boy, I don't know about that comment. Dude. You're gonna eat that one later for sure.
I'm gonna eat that one in about 30 seconds when she busts through that door.
Well, with that being said,
we're all out. We're all out the way. So we're on your side.
Okay. Bye, guys.
anywho,
Anyway, guys, Acolyte, a show that a lot of people were quite scared of and skeptical with. Episodes 1 and 2. I'm going to go around the room here and we'll get an overall kind of feeling, and then we'll kind of dive into some specifics. But we'll just start with Chris and then work our way around, snake down to Elvis, down to Matt at the end.
what are we
Overall, just your overall kind of thoughts on the first 2 episodes, likes and dislikes in particular. We'll go into specifics in a little while.
Yeah, I kind of just feel like it sounds like Star Wars. It looks like Star Wars, but doesn't feel like Star Wars. I don't know.
Right.
It's still that I'm like, I mean, there's 8 episodes, and we're only 2 episodes in, so I can't give like a full judgment if I like the whole thing or not until we watch all 8 episodes. But it's just, as of now, it just sounds like Star Wars. You know, looks like Star Wars, but for some reason, it just yeah, we'll see. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but we'll see.
Tim?
Yeah, coming into it, I was excited about this show. I don't think I was, frightened at all about any of the woke agenda or any of that. Like Chris, this definitely looks like Star Wars. It feels like Star Wars. I enjoy it, but I don't know that I enjoyed as much as I've enjoyed the other series that have come out. I think I've been a little more vested in that. But it just feels a lot of like the soul is basically Qui-Gon just rehashed. It just there's a lot of it that feels like they're kind of putting it in there to make it feel like Star Wars, but I've enjoyed it so far. The Crouching Tiger, Hidden Jedi aspect of it is awesome. I love the martial arts. I love that piece of it. But like Chris, I'm still kind of waiting to make a final decision on it.
Sweet. Elvis?
I like it. I've been digesting it for a while. I've watched it several times. I'm really annoyed with all the people are like, I'm done, I'm out, this ain't Star Wars. It's just like, whatever, go away then. We don't need your opinion. But especially the people that aren't even gonna like finish the show. It's like, shut up. But like, I don't know. I think for me, it didn't feel like anything else, right? But then again, the prequels didn't feel like the OT. And Disney obviously didn't feel like anything else. And, every show has kind of had a different theme, different vibe about it. But this one, what I really am digging are all of the really subtle tiebacks to Star Wars. Like, for example, the fonts they use and the way that the credits are different, and how it kind of leads up to the scroll of the prequels and stuff like that. And the thing I find most fascinating are the Jedi and how they are at that time, because it's like they don't think they're superior. They don't think they're the only right person. They're allowed to make mistakes. If someone experiences feelings of the dark side, they're like, okay, how can we help you? And they like embrace that and like help each other. So the whole High Republic Jedi is my favorite part of the show so far, because it's nowhere near what it becomes.
Sure. Gianni, what's your thoughts, bro?
It's a little convoluted. So I would say when I first saw it, I was not impressed. So then I was like, you know what though? That's okay. Let me watch it again. And I was like, so then to get ready for this conversation, I rewatched it just now, right before we jumped on here. And I will say the third time, which granted, right, it shouldn't take 3 times for me to be like, okay.
For somebody, for a Star Wars fan.
Yes.
Right. And so I watched it again just now, both episodes, for a third time. And this time I was like, okay, I'm in. You know, I'm a little bit more bought in. And so I'm never the person that wants to come in with expectations, because I say this all the time. When I have expectations and it doesn't get met and it ends up here, there's a gap of hurt, right? And so I think me watching it for a third time really opened up my eyes and kind of, I guess, I reset my expectations. Even though I didn't feel like I had some, I guess I had some underlying expectations. And so I would say in the beginning, a lot of the dialogue felt a little chunky, where May was like, attack me with like all your power. I'm like, that's corny. You know, things of like that nature. But as I've continued to like watch it, right, I'm enjoying it now. Like this third time, I was like, all right, yo, I'm in. So I don't know. I mean, the fighting and the action I really liked. I will say that the world does feel small in a sense, where like when we're in the Jedi Temple and all of that, it didn't feel grand. It didn't feel big like we did what we felt like in the prequels. And so I feel like that's a miss for me. They definitely used a mix of the volume, right? Where you're in the volume and they had some practical sets, but even the practical sets didn't feel like grand. But I liked the costumes. I liked the way the people were dressed. I like the in-world experience. I think that felt really good as well. I think visually it looks and it feels Star Wars. You know, and I just feel for $180 million budget, it should have felt a little bit more grand. You know, like Andor was what, 250, and the practicals were crazy. And now I understand we're talking about, you know, $70-80 million more, but we'll see. You know, we'll see as it progresses. Maybe we'll see some of that money depending on what planets they go to and things of that nature. I would give it like out of a 1 to 10 currently. At first, I was at like a 5. And I think today, after watching it a third time, I'm at like a 7. And so I think that's kind of where I'm at. I like it. Now, it took a minute, but I do like it. And you know, to go back to, bro, what you were saying earlier, you're just kind of like, oh, you know, I'm over all the, you know, the haters and stuff like that. And I'm in the same place. I'm like, dude, like, give it a chance. And that's why, like myself, I watched it 3 times, you know, and I gave it a chance. And after the third time, you know, I'm not like all in, like, oh my gosh, like I was with Mando season 1 and 2. But I'm in a way better place after watching it a third time. So that's kind of where I'm at. That was a long explanation. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
I didn't hear anything you said. What you said?
Yeah, all right. So here we go.
Sorry, we missed that.
Round 2.
But no, Tim's got a really valid point. No, just go off of you real quick before we go to Matt. It shouldn't, as a Star Wars fan, it should not take 3 watch throughs to go right invested. You know, so that I kind of get you with that one. But I'll save myself till last. Matt, your turn, bro. Your time. What do you think?
Well, unlike a lot of everyone else here, I only got to see it 1 time through. My work schedule prevented that. I actually just got off a few minutes ago. So I wasn't able to give it a second watch through. But so far, I've appreciated the costume design. I love how they're going with like the comic style for the High Republic robes, and I like how they have different robes for when they're in the temple and when they're out doing stuff. I like that they're going more practical stuff, even though there is some CGI going on in the sets. It doesn't completely feel like Star Wars for me, but we're only 2 episodes in. Maybe that's going to change in the next few. But I went in trying to avoid trailers and stuff like that. I saw the first one. I was like, oh, okay. Saw some critiques of the chunky lightsabers. I'm like, okay, that's probably a Disney thing, so they can sell them at Galaxy's Edge. But so far, it's like Gianni was saying, it's a solid 7 for me so far. I mean, I went in not expecting much, but I was pleasantly surprised with everything so far.
You're right, though. The Sabers are the worst part of the show so far. I puke.
They are
yucky.
Ultra Sabers.
They are chonky. Yeah, they are chonky.
It's accurate to Galaxy's Edge now. Now you can't have a third party making it thinner now. Like, oh, sorry, it's not accurate. It's too thin.
They aren't they remaking everything, but like slimmer? Apparently,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Them boys were thick.
Yeah, they did thick. Overall for me, I really enjoyed the first couple episodes. I sat and watched it, obviously, with the boys. When it dropped, I sat and watched it again with Louise. She was really looking forward to it as well, and from what I know, she really enjoyed it too. But I'm kind of with everyone as much in terms of it doesn't feel like that classic Star Wars feeling. But then for me, the only other thing that's made me really feel that way probably has been Rogue One. Maybe Andor at times, just because of the time we're set in. But apart from that, it's kind of on par with kind of really everything else. I love the costume design, like Matt was saying as well. The sets, I kind of feel you, Gianni, with the $180 million budget. The sets, they could be a bit more kind of grand, but we're only 2 episodes in, and I do know there's a lot more to come.
For sure.
I've been told in particular from a friend who has some insider information to wait for episode 5. So,
the Ahsoka edition.
The Ahsoka edition. Episode 5, the Ahsoka edition.
Like every Mando. It's episode 5 and 6.
Ramps up and then it just bam.
No, there's apparently a massive twist in episode 5. I haven't been told what it is, because I don't want the spoilers. But
somehow Palpatine returns.
Palpatine was born early.
Some Plagueis.
So I'm with kind of Chris as well, where I don't want to have any expectations too soon, because I want to kind of really wait for that to see how. But again, apparently there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. The overall plot line we have just now, the early plot, apparently they released episodes 1 and 2 because that whole part of the plot with the twins, that's done now. In terms of that whole lead up and that grand reveal, that's done, and it's going to be a goose chase now. Basically, is what I've been told. So overall, knowing what I know and seeing everything, I really enjoyed it. I'd probably give it a 7 as well, like Gianni did, just purely because the costumes are great. I love how they've gone with the comics as well, that kind of stuff. Very different insight into a very different time. What about 100 years before or thereabouts, before the Phantom Menace?
Yeah, almost exactly.
An era we have never explored before in live action, really, in proper kind of canon. It's just one of those shows that I think is going to get better with time. So overall, I enjoyed it. I'm a sucker though for like one of these kind of like murder mystery type kind of shows and whatnot. And even though we know who's who and all the players have been introduced and everything, there's still a lot of kind of mystery surrounding this dark side user and who is he or she and whatnot.
I got a question about him. Do you think we have seen? I mean, I know we've seen in the outfit, but do you think it's another character that we've already met? Because I've got a speculation.
I know the answer to this, so I'm going to bow out of this question.
I think it's the Asian dude that's helping her. I think he is the Sith Lord, and he's like cold playing her the whole time.
Like the one in the apothecary.
Yeah, Quaimir.
I do like that theory, and you can see why.
Well, and that's what I said when he turned to her and he realizes his eyes change. He realizes it's not May.
Yeah.
And he still says he will be pleased. And he's smiling. I think he could be talking about himself.
Yeah. And it's funny because we were talking about this the other night. when he first says, when he realizes that it's the different twin that he's speaking to. It's kind of like he
still gives
kinda,
it away, even though he's
but he has his thought to himself like, "Oh damn, I think I picked the wrong twin."
Well, she, you
I
know,
think
she
you're the
bet-
right twin. I should be is
Jedi.
what I should be getting right now, which is why he said he'll be pleased.
and then
Oh, he has
bet-
two of them.
If that's what they were doing, then I would like the fact that they're doing the whole kind of I call it the scream rule, where we see the killer on screen the whole time, we don't know who it is, right? Like that's a great concept. Like
Just
that
like Palpatine was.
killer.
He was there throughout.
We just knew who it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah, we knew that though.
Exactly. Like, yeah, we knew that, you know what I mean? But it was still
But it
still
was
playing along
thing,
the
it was
same.
killer in plain sight.
Exactly.
I just hope they don't go too far with the whole dyad thing. I didn't care for the dyad thing from the Disney movies, but it sure feels, based on the logo of the twins, the visions, even though she didn't know she was alive, feels very, very dyad. So,
well, do you
guess we'll
think do you think both twins will survive the series in terms of, let's say, will we get to episode 7 and both twins are still alive?
I thought May was going to die in episode 3 at first, but now I wonder if he wants them both as some powerful dyad of the Force.
Well, and
or something.
the High Republic, there's like all kinds of different force powers. It's like there's one of the Jedi, when she travels through hyperspace, can see the future.
That's the girl with the light whip, yeah.
Yeah, so there's some interesting powers involved with some of these. I hope it's not all again to help explain away the sequels. I mean, that just seems like a waste of time.
Yeah.
But if you want to come up with some cool force powers that, you know, make sense, I'm down.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too. Haven't seen a dyad like this in 200 years. I was like, God damn, really? They're going to use that as the way of doing the dyad? And the logo with the it's coming apart. Oh, it's totally dyad, isn't it?
I'll tell you one thing I did really enjoy, though, was the opening scenes and whatnot. Obviously, let's talk about Indara.
Is that all we're Indara, or maybe some flashbacks?
No,
we're going to get some flashbacks.
Flashbacks.
Yeah,
we've seen her in a trailer with another scene.
Yeah.
So
And Soul
obviously,
has different hair in that scene, so clearly flashback.
yes.
So we'll see what happened to May and her sister.
Yeah.
The opening kind of scenes and whatnot, again, the dialogue a bit chunky, a bit corny and whatnot.
His accent, or his not broken English, but his poor English doesn't help. That makes the dialogue even worse, in my opinion. Like,
Well, here's the thing. Did you know?
I watched
that
it with closed captions.
But did you know that he is from South Korea? He specifically learned how to speak English just for this role.
Yes.
Oh yes, super admirable,
Which is awesome.
Admirable and stuff.
I was like, that's why I don't know. I'm a fan of the accent. I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of cool.
It's just
It's
the
more
words
authentic.
are hard to hear, and I think that makes the dialogue even
Yes.
sound worse because of the accent. Not that I don't like his accent. That's not it. His delivery almost seems like he's trying to remember the word versus like deliver the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Well, it could be that his character doesn't speak basic, and he was learning basic too. So they
That could also, yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a very
I'm gonna go with that one. I like that.
in world and canonical explanation, Matt. I like that.
Yeah.
The choreography though for the fight scenes. These fight scenes are they're making the show, right? And one interesting thing about May is every time she's apart from the second dude, which names again, I'm terrible with names until about 5 episodes in. But yeah, that's the one. You're great with names, Matt. You just pick them up. I'm like, oh, that guy that was floating about in midair.
No, that's not Yord. That's
Lord.
No, it was, what was his name?
I wrote it down.
I know.
Tobin.
Tobin.
Oh, to Master Tobin? Yeah.
Right. So apart from him, but when she fought Indara and Saul, both times she tries to grab their lightsabers,
And
like that's part of the mission, right? You know, to become, you know, to be promoted from Acolyte, you must fight unarmed.
I don't think so.
So wait,
No?
I do have a question about that. So at the end of that episode, the Sith,
Just leaves
whoever
it on
he
the
is,
ground.
does give the idea. He says that you have to kill your target without using a weapon.
Yeah.
But she killed Endara with her throwing knife.
Well,
Yeah.
she
So-
said
Got four.
she said steel and lasers don't count, I think is what he was saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just weird, just the way they did it when they said no weapon.
Yeah.
But then, I mean,
think
the
it got
knives are
killed
steel, also.
one,
You'd
just
imagine.
one of the Jedi without a weapon.
Oh, just
She
one.
killed the first, she
Okay.
messed up, and the first one she killed with a weapon. Second one, she used a poison. That's
Yep.
technically a weapon. So it's going to come down to her having to kill Soul. I'm guessing.
Technically, she didn't kill Tobin. She killed herself.
Yeah, that's true.
So she
That's
didn't
true.
use a weapon. She used her mind and talked him into it.
I would call that a weapon.
I got the
'Cause-
I got the feeling that she's got these four Jedi to basically get it accomplished. One of
Yeah.
them has to be without a weapon. That's that, but I don't know if
That's the feeling that I'm getting from as well. But it's just interesting how they repeat the same move, and she repeats the same move, just trying to grab the lightsaber. Now, is that for a purpose? Is that to take the lightsaber, kill them, take the crystal, bleed the crystal? Is that still a thing?
No.
I think she
No, because
I
she
think
left
it's so she has
Endara
it.
on the floor.
Yeah, she left Endara's lightsaber sitting on the ground.
Yeah,
I
but
think
then
it's just to disarm them, maybe to get them upset. That's got to be. Again, all of this is to show everybody else out there that Jedi can die and can be hurt. Because
Yeah.
they already kind of remarked about that. They want to show that Jedi aren't these perfect, can't be damaged things. So
Yeah.
I think that was more about embarrassing them
Mhm.
than anything.
It also seems like she's using more than a weapon. Like she used Indara's what's it called? Love for others, compassion. She used Indara's compassion to save the bartender to kill her.
Yeah.
And then she used Tobin's need for forgiveness. His he's obviously messed up over killing her mom or whatever he did on that planet. So she used that against him. So I don't know. I almost feel like she's using feelings to kill him versus weapons.
it's a lot of seconds, guys. Sorry. Yep. Just try to grab something here.
Well, they did kind of use part of the Sith code in one of the dialogue. They said something about emotion or whatever. I don't remember what it was.
Here's the question, though, right? And this is something that I have been hearing quite a lot of, and it does make sense to to a certain degree. The dark side user not being a Sith, but being part of the Ancient Order of Ren, looking at his helmet and stuff like that. Do you think that's maybe a direction that they could go in with this character?
The helmet looks very Rennie. I mean,
Yeah.
The back half of it, yeah, this is the thing, it does. And is that perhaps maybe where Kylo gets inspiration for his helmet? Looking
His
forward
helmet
and him
was
looking
from
back.
the Ren. I think he took it off of the Ren, didn't he?
Yeah.
the Ren's helmet's more like Cobra Commander's,
Okay.
except it's got a weird symbol in it that's kind of cut out that glows. So yeah,
Oh.
his
Oh yeah, you're right. I remember the comic book now. I think Carter made a font for it too, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
I think he did.
I mean,
think
if
he
you were
did.
to set that helmet next to all the other Knights of Ren, I think it would fit right in.
Yeah, and that's all the other Knights of Ren helmets were just the concepts for Kylo that they didn't use. So this just feels like it's really Kylo derivative.
Where am I? There we go.
Or Disney's just running out of ideas.
Just running through some of these screen grabs.
So I heard
That-
someone say that he admits that he is an acolyte as well to the same master, but I did not get that from the episode. I think the YouTuber that said that's incorrect. What do you guys think?
I didn't hear that either, actually. As
Yeah, I
well.
didn't hear that.
I
don't remember
think
that at
he
all.
kind of gave off the impression that he works for him, but he's not
He said that he
acolyte
supplies
friend.
her, and he said
Yeah.
the master will be pleased. Like he knows who her master is, so it
Yeah.
does kind of sound like it could be his as well. But I don't recall
can I
him
figure
like.
out the Sith thing it was? She said pieces of lie. I know.
Yeah, I didn't feel like he was in competition with her though, and I feel like he's kind of part of the organization, but not, not in that line. He's not trying to be the acolyte, the apprentice.
So then,
He
what is
certainly
his
has
purpose?
force ability. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, he's
Because-
seen those attacks coming before they even happened.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then he also knew that wasn't me.
Yep.
The only reason
Straight-
they would show
yeah.
it that way with the whole, stepping out of the way thing is to tell you this is a force user. They wouldn't just film that like he's just good at blocking or something.
And shit, he got her off planet, with Jedi hunting them.
Give me a second, Adrian. I'm gonna jump into my stream manager here and see if that's a setting on my end, mate. Apologies. It
What's
shouldn't
up?
be. Adrian is saying that he's getting bombarded with ads. But I've got ads turned off for this, so it must just be YouTube. Sorry, mate.
I didn't know
Yeah.
there were ads on live streams.
Yeah, they're definitely off. Yeah, you can choose to roll them now if you want to as well, but I've got mine set to off.
I love her armor though. The more
Yeah,
look at it, it looks really, very, very sick.
I was just going to come to
Very,
that. It's almost
samurai-ish.
Revan-esque and kind of.
Yeah.
It's
That chest, the chest part's very samurai-ish, and then under the chainmail is very knight.
Her whole get up's sick. Like really I love the way, and it's the same actress. There isn't twins in real life, right? It's just the one actress.
Yeah, she plays
Just
the
the
same
one.
She's playing both roles really well.
Wasn't she the girl from I Volunteers Tribute? What's the name of that movie? I forget.
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
Games.
Isn't it
yeah.
Ro?
Girl.
Mhm.
Ro, the little girl in that? Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
She was a little girl from in the first movie. She would have been the little girl from Rue.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Rue,
was.
is that what it is? Okay. My wife was really into the book, so I watched all the movies, but I only watched it once.
Yeah, the
There's a
little
new-
girl that like
New
basically
book coming.
died. That wasn't gonna hurt anybody.
There we go.
But look at that. Even I'm looking at this still shot, and I love the practical room of using an actual set instead of just the volume.
For
Yeah.
sure.
This set was
Yeah.
sick, yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, the first couple of minutes I got really excited just when you saw the Trade Federation. You saw the way they looked. They weren't CGI.
Yes.
They were
Yeah.
puppets. They were
Yeah.
men dressed up with the, and it was really, really cool to see that again instead of seeing something CGI. And so I was like, all right, so the budget's 180 million. Where are you going to put that in?
So those
Practical
weren't
effects
I
or
thought it was
sets, and I
better
could see it.
CGI. That was those were
actual, yeah. And you could see the way the mouth moved. It reminded me of
that was awesome.
the
Yeah, no, I
prequels.
loved it.
It definitely put me back into the prequels, looking at them in that mask. They
The only one
definitely toned down the accent though, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love seeing the Trade Federation straight away as well because
That was very cool.
you're right in that era, and obviously they were a massive part of the prequels. So having and dropping that familiarity straight away from the get go,
I thought it was very cool. I was just
very
thinking
very
that's
well
so cool.
placed.
Yeah.
Very yeah. And this is what I was saying on Cody's stream a couple of nights ago. It's just I think we were talking about cameos and whatnot, but just having enough familiarity, not too much, not going overboard with it, but just having enough familiarity there.
I've got a bad
Does-
feeling about this.
That was
Yeah.
I
I
laughed
actually
when I heard
hated it
that.
because it was Yord
I
saying it. I don't care for you.
Mhm.
nobody likes him.
This show,
We all knew she was going to die the first episode.
yeah.
That was very clear that she was going to die the first episode.
Oh, you all knew now. Okay, so when I said it in the movie
No,
theater,
I
I was like, yeah, whatever.
We
I'll
talked
listen.
about it.
I was.
We talked about it. We
surprised
knew
as
she was going to
shit.
die. It's just
And then
so
I go back and I
unfortunate.
was like, wait, they showed her fucking lightsaber fall into the ground in the trailer. I was like,
I
I
mean,
should
the-
have
one of the posters was literally her lightsaber covered
Yes.
in blood. So
Yes, I should have figured it out. I just thought that was because she was a badass.
That's what I'm.
Yeah,
It was
well,
just so
true.
unfortunate. She's such a great actress. She's great at what she does when it comes to stunts. and for her to go the first episode, even though we already knew, it was just, oh man. I mean, we'll get flashbacks, but still, it kind of sucks.
This is the gateway for Keanu into Star Wars, I'm telling you.
Ooh, Revan.
Revan.
Waiting for it.
Oh,
The So listen, we were all saying the planet we thought was Act 2 during the trailers.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that we're all wrong, and that isn't Act 2.
No, I think it's Act 2.
Yeah, I think it is, and we just haven't seen.
We haven't seen that yet.
For it to be recognizable.
This isn't Act 2. This is the one that Carrie Ann Fisher was in.
I'm just going through all these images here.
That's Act
And
2.
the snow planet, Karlak, I think it was. That's in the Clone Wars. I forget where. Oh, it was when Ahsoka and not Sabine, Bo-Katan met for the first time. Remember, they met with the Separatists, and Ahsoka had the crush on that Separatist boy. That was on Karlak, I think.
Yes.
If I remember right.
Just going back to the robes and whatnot, the kind of the lighter. I'm just thinking, because a lot of the robes were a lot darker, weren't they, in the prequels?
Yeah.
Everyone wore ideally the exact same
brown.
color.
Yeah, these robes don't have sleeves either. Those are just like cloak robes. More like a Harry Potter, than old prequel Jedi or sequel.
I like these robes.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that till now. Yeah, you're right.
So
And they're all unique. They're not all wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, it does seem like people from Coruscant are the only ones that had like the High Republic looking robes. Am I wrong?
Because remember, each planet has their own Jedi temple.
And those, now her robe
in the show, from what we
his
saw,
robe there looks like a regular.
Yeah.
Jedi. So maybe when they go out in the field, they wear something more.
And they have like the armored gauntlets too, which was very cool.
Can you go back to the picture of the witch girl? Okay, yeah, there are no men here. Okay.
Isn't that the same symbol that May has on her forehead?
I was just thinking that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got to be their mom, but I think it's mother to all of them. Would be my guess, like Mother Thousands, like everyone calls her mother, but I don't know if it's her real mother or not.
I'd have to go back and watch it, but somebody said that they've already revealed in the first episode that she says they're mothers.
Yeah.
So
that was what episode it was, but that was dropped.
Yeah. So the twins have two mothers, no father.
Right. Okay.
That's what I hear.
I did hear it was the first confirmed lesbian in Star Wars or whatever.
Yeah, but it's like a lesbian, miraculous, Force-inspired lesbian birth.
No, there was something in
miraculous Force-inspired birth is all of Star Wars, so you can't say that's anything weird.
Series has it pretty much.
Yeah, that's what. What's up, Joseph?
Lesbian thing at the end of the Rise of Skywalker.
They did.
Yeah.
They had, right off
the end.
Celebration at the end.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, they could have just been friends who like kissing. I mean,
that's true.
This might be the first confirmed, anyway.
I mean, yeah.
Which is fine. Nothing wrong with that.
I kiss all my guy friends on the mouth. It's not weird, right?
With tongue.
It's college.
Upside down.
Looks like a Freemason symbol on her head. Freemason symbol?
No.
No, dude, the Freemason symbol is to
like a spiral.
To what do you call it? Compass and an eye in the middle.
How much you want to bet that
we got
Tobin
way
killed the mother?
off. We got way off there with the lesbian stuff. Like,
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut because we're gonna go further out. So I'm just gonna...
Well,
I don't think they're gonna push the whole thing. I just think it's there. That's
it's
all.
going to be
But,
there. I'm with you on that. So it seems like the two sisters have differing memories of what went down.
yeah.
Because they both blame the other for the death
And they
of the family.
Both thought each other were dead as well. Real quick,
Yes.
Paul, thank you so much for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you again real soon, man. Thank you.
That's nice.
They both thought they were dead. Like
Yep.
Osha thought May was dead. May thought Osha was dead. So what happened there?
Mm-hmm.
And let's stick
could be
on
the
that.
reason.
So
There's a
how
whole
was
big
she having
conspiracy with
visions?
the Jedi about what happened too? Because they're trying to hide it.
Which is probably the reason why May wants her revenge.
But again, we were thinking that she was having visions, but the other girl didn't know she existed. So it wasn't visions of her. It wasn't visions
Yeah,
of her.
someone's planting visions.
Where are
right?
those coming from? Yeah.
And they're giving her the visions while she's sleeping.
Yeah.
And when she wakes up, it's kind of just
It's a fucking Matrix. It's all the Matrix.
yeah. It's giving her like a
What
form of
is-
PTSD.
Yeah.
Is May having visions too?
But she wasn't having vision. She wasn't sleeping when she saw the sister. When she
No. But like I know two of them happened when she was sleeping.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the last one.
Like the very first time. There's one more.
Well, the one at the Jedi Temple, they were close in proximity.
yeah, within
So,
minutes.
The first one though, they weren't close in proximity. They were on different planets. Could that be something there, or is it someone purposely?
I think
Probably
it's
is.
Well,
purpose.
Adrian
But
just
who?
said. Adrian just said, just like Palpatine gave Rey and Kylo through Snoke. Same idea.
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
dyad thing.
It's definitely someone implanting it to influence them to either think another way or act another way.
Yeah.
And is it Darth Teeth?
Dark who?
Darth Teeth, as Cole was saying.
Oh, because of the helmet.
I just want to throw out there, I hate Osha's name.
Osha.
Yeah.
I hate her
Reminds-
name. I feel like her sister's name should be Hippa, and I hate it so much.
I mean, I've been working.
I hate
with
Yor's
Emma all
name.
week, so that would have worked too.
I think the Dark Lord, if he's a Sith, whatever he is, I think he actually wants May and
I do
not
too.
Osha. And that's what this is all about, is him trying to get her. He's putting the visions in there. He wants to get her involved.
So you said
Because
that opposite.
maybe he
You
knows
know,
Stronger of the two, or I don't know.
Which is the reason when he said that he will be pleased.
Yep.
And the idea that
When
it
he
could be
realized
him or he knows something. It's just like the fact that Osha is who the Dark Lord, whoever he is actually who he really wants is Osha.
Yeah.
So he has May this whole time, but in reality, he's like,
Yeah.
yo, there's another one, and she's alive. That's the one I actually want.
And does that mean Osha's stronger?
I think so.
Possibly.
I think she
Yeah.
has force.
Well, she's
block
actually trained.
because of-
She's actually trained as a Jedi. She was a Jedi
Yeah.
and she left for 6 years. We don't know if May has been trained for that long and who trained her, but she wasn't trained as a Jedi.
I don't think she was, because
Or-
Jedi picked her
Force
up
powers
from
right now.
the fire that killed everyone. And
Who,
that's
May or
what
Osha?
trained her from then.
May or Osha?
Osha.
No, she
Osha-
said she was a Jedi. She said she was
Yeah.
a Jedi, and then she hadn't been for 6 years since she became a.
I believe Saul had got her from the fire or whatever that killed her mom, and took her as a Padawan. So
Yeah.
she has had training.
Yeah, which
But, you know,
essentially
she-
should make her stronger in
Yeah.
some form of way.
But then May would have had some sort of training from the other guy too.
Exactly. Yeah.
But possibly for longer.
I mean, and May seems more attuned with hers because she's able to pick up the daggers and throw that shit around, whereas Osha couldn't even get her little pip droid to do
Yeah.
it.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing with Obi-Wan when he left for X.
Yeah, it's just out of
he couldn't do
practice.
anything else. Yeah, but now as the episodes continue to roll through and more, I think she'll start getting stronger. It's the same thing as Obi-Wan. We have to wait a couple episodes until she can like fully reach her potential again.
But how powerful is she going to be, though? Is this the thing?
I think it's possible they're strong in the force because of who they are and their mother and the people they came from, and they used the force in a different way. It wasn't like a Jedi force; it was like a Night Witch type force.
Yeah.
So I think they're already powerful. They just both have mental blocks, and as soon as they get past that, is when they'll let loose and be super powerful.
That's a very interesting take, actually. I like that.
Do you think they're going to battle?
The two girls.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
Do you imagine?
Yeah, that
Imagine
might not-
Osha goes full on back to Jedi. The sister turns,
becomes an acolyte or whatever, and then there's just this like all out like war.
Damn, that editing would be a nightmare.
Yeah, I know, right? I was
No.
just thinking it's the same actress, so I mean, when
True.
it comes to the whole,
It's just all the shots would have to be the back of her head, and then anything with her
I'm saying,
face
well,
has to have someone looks just
wonder
like
where-
her and just remap her face.
You're wondering where the $180 million went. There you go.
Yeah,
Right
that's
there.
where it went.
Yep.
Unless they
just
keep
to
her
quickly-
covered. Unless they keep
That's
her
true.
covered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You
true.
pull an arcane and Texan thing, and have one of them get disfigured early on, and then come back and have the fight later on with some type of mask or prosthetic.
Yep. Or if
yeah,
she
but
becomes
they
a
showed the
knight,
tattoo, so we know that's going to be the thing. How you
Yeah, you just
part or something.
differentiate
Yeah.
between them. Yeah.
Doesn't
unless she
May have
becomes a
tattoo
knight
on
and she gets a helmet.
Yeah.
Because
Hello?
actually, Chris, you noticed when we were looking at those photos earlier, and she's wearing the chainmail, and you said it's very Knights of Ren, that
Oh,
whole
yeah.
situation.
And look at the
Oh,
helmets. It
And
could
maybe
be
she
the
gets
start
a
of it.
helmet, and then that's how you edit that.
Yeah.
I really think the Order of Ren is at play here, and it's been a total kind of misdirect with the whole series, with the timeline and Plagueis and all this kind of stuff. I really do think they're tying into the sequels because it's Disney, which I'm cool with. That's fine, but just make it make sense. Don't go off the beaten track. Don't do something fucking wild. Just make it tie in and make sense. That's cool. And if it is that, awesome. I'm fine with that. Just to answer Joseph's question real quick, an acolyte was a dark side follower, but not an apprentice. Someone who wanted to basically be an apprentice to a master, but had to prove themselves through various tasks, which is what May is doing, or we think May is doing right now by killing these Jedi. So, were Kylo Ren and the Night Sith? No, they weren't, were they? They weren't Sith. And this is what's, again, fueling this Ancient Order of Ren theory, because they were not Sith.
And I don't know where other than Ren, I don't know where it was before then. I don't know where he got the Knights of Ren from. So there could be a history that goes
All
back.
right. Sorry, guys. I think I'm going to put a kibosh to all this right here. So Ren started the Knights of Ren, and then he's human. Sorry, it's all backwards, isn't it? So that means he couldn't be born yet.
Okay, so he did start it, and that's in Wikipedia.
Yeah, and then Kylo killed Ren and took over the Knights of Ren.
No, I'm sure there was an Ancient Order of Ren. 2 seconds, because I read this somewhere as well.
Plot twist. Osha is going to be Mace Windu's mom.
Yo.
Oh,
You guys are sitting there like, oh, but wait, oh.
Ooh.
Wait, what did no? I'm trying to think of the timeline.
Because technically we
Phantom
were told it was
Menace
100.
hinted
It was
anything,
100.
that's what
It
I'm
was supposed to be 100 years before Phantom Menace, but then also when you watch it, it says it's actually 100 years before the Empire. So does that
So
count
100 years prior
for the
to
15
Revenge of the Sith.
years between Episode 1 and Episode 3 when Anakin's at that age?
I think it's like 102 years before the start of the Phantom Menace is what I heard.
Oh yeah,
I
time
heard
was
Chris heard
perfect.
it was 100 years prior to the Empire, so it'd be 100
Yeah, I
years
heard that
prior
too.
to Revenge of the Sith. So it'd be like
Let's try to
85
find
years
that.
prior to the Phantom Menace.
no, Osha would be too old.
She could be a grandma.
Grandma. Yeah.
I'll need to find it.
They're gonna do a dyad thing. I'm mad. I already expect it now.
I'm out.
Dyad thing. I'm out. Screw this.
I'm out. Hey, so let's talk about my favorite part of the entire Star Wars universe and the new addition we got on this, which is droids. So what do y'all think of the little pip droid that they've got there?
The little Palm Pilot?
The Palm
It's
Pilot.
actually a cassette player. It's a like a disc or a Walkman cassette player is what the main
Awesome.
part of it is.
That's cool. Yeah, see,
Fucking welder.
see, and that's very cool. That it's just, dude. Let's go back to a Graflex. A Graflex, the lightsaber itself
Yeah,
was
make
a
a-
piece of a
make a prop
camera,
out-
and now
Yeah.
you're making a prop out of an actual thing that was used. That's very cool.
The chair.
I'm glad they're doing that again.
I'm just
That's,
reading it real quick. The Knights of Ren, an ancient order once lost, refounded post Empire.
Okay.
So
Was an ancient one.
Okay.
apparently, it's because I knew I'd read it, and I was like, oh.
So Ren
that's
just
right.
called himself Ren to restart up the Knights of Ren.
Like that, yeah.
Well, because he done the lead guy in, right? So he took what'd you call it? He took the name, right?
No, I'm saying Ren, the one that restarted it post Empire. So
Yes,
he must his name must not have been Ren.
Yeah,
he must
he
have
just
just called
took that-
himself Ren to start up the Knights of Ren.
To give the whole thing some cred, you know.
Yeah.
You need street cred when you're starting that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, the
But-
Knights of Bob doesn't have the same kind of.
Knights of
The Knights of
Bob.
Philip.
He's intimidated.
Going back to what you're saying about droids, the autopilot chair droids I thought were
Oh,
super cool.
fucking awesome.
That was dope.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that
But
was
the
dope.
prison droid I did not care for. The prison guard droid.
And they're saying he's kind of a predecessor to Ned B.
It because part of him, I think his legs and arms were Ned B. The chest plate was another type of droid. I forget what that droid was called. And the helmet I want to say is new. I could be wrong. But to me, it was so human-like.
Yeah, it's like that's a guy in a suit.
Yeah, and his thighs were like the thigh covers barely covered anything, so you could like see his pants and his legs moving. I'm like, it needs to be more like C-3PO, where the leg goes all the way up to that crotch piece, for lack of a better term.
That's a good point.
I didn't even notice that, to be honest.
So you get
I also just hated the fact that Jedi weren't bringing
On
her
the
to
ship.
Coruscant. It was just going to be on a ship with a droid. They were on their way back anyway. What the hell? Like, why wouldn't they just take her? I
Yeah.
hated that part.
Yeah, that didn't make
Yeah, that was
overall
very dumb.
sense. The levels of
Hey, maybe
servant
their ship's
acolyte,
not set
apprentice,
up for a
master.
prisoner or what have you, but still,
What if Kmir's the servant? What if Kmir's the servant, and if May is the acolyte? That would blow the Kmir theory out the water.
what's a servant?
Joe Ricci here's seen the levels of the Sith are servant, acolyte, apprentice, master. So what if Kmir's the servant?
Okay.
May's the acolyte, right? Just throwing that out there. Just
That
throwing
would
that out
make
there.
sense with that hierarchy. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in the game. He's just not yet in the. But he still doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like he's in competition openly with her.
No,
Yeah.
at least yet.
I think he
He
was
does
too
seem
good and
like
too
he's got
creepy. I
something
think he's going to be
going on.
higher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really do think he's going to be the dude.
I've made the Scream reference. He gives me Billy Loomis vibes from Scream.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's just the vibes it gives me. Like there's something more to him, but what is it?
Well,
you really
and
know?
too, I think like what would a Sith Lord do undercover? That kind of thing would be, because he was just really nonchalant that, oh yeah, I killed the last guy that was working here.
Well, I mean,
I've been here.
a Sith Lord undercover might take over the entire galaxy. I don't know, but like,
I think he'd be down with doing this kind of thing, just slouching from place to place, assuming an identity,
yeah.
just causing general.
If I remember the trilogy correctly, Bane just kind of went around and acted like a smuggler or a crime lord for a while.
Who are you talking about, Matt?
Darth Bane.
Yeah,
He
you're right.
He acted like a rich guy or a crime lord for a while he was doing his stuff.
Interesting.
The comment there from Joseph, the rule of two.
What about
It's a
Rule of Two?
it's a difficult one with this series, the Rule of Two, because you don't know who's in the game,
Well,
right?
she's not master or apprentice. She's an acolyte.
Correct,
So
because that
she's
only
not part of Rule of Two at
only
all.
applies to master and apprentice. That doesn't apply to servant. It doesn't apply to acolyte, right?
Yeah.
Or
Look at
even
Sidious. He had a whole fucking planet of acolyte servants that we didn't even know about until the Disney, right? So, I mean, it can have lots of people within the Sith. It's not just two people. It's just only two can be actually know the all the lore of the Sith. I guess I don't know what's the right word for it.
It was more like they were paired, not that there were only two of them, that they were paired. So you would always have that struggle of master, the apprentice who wants to be the master, and the master who has the power. But it's not that there's just two of them. I think it was kind of by the time the prequels came along, there was just two of them. Because Palpatine fucking, did his thing or whatever it was, and they'd hidden so long. But I think back in the day, pre this, I think that there were pairs of them, but not necessarily just two. But
Joseph has actually, he has a good point. What if the Rule of Two doesn't just have to deal with the Sith and apprentice? The Rule of Two also applies for twins.
The Rule of Two is Sith, is master and apprentice. That's what the Rule of Two is written as.
What is
but it could be rewritten another way.
Could be.
Luke and
what
Leia.
if
when Bane wrote the Rule of Two, it was always master and apprentice.
And that was before this.
Yeah, that was thousands of years before, because he was after Revan.
Here's another question. Here's another spanner. A question to get the juices going. What if Zipface isn't the master? What if Zipface is the apprentice?
I was about to say that.
And he's trying to find someone to gang up against his master.
Yeah, because he's going to need
Luke.
Boom. He's going to need an apprentice. He takes over. They take over the master. He becomes a master. Then he's got his apprentice, and boom. That's what I think it is.
Just like Dooku had what's her face Ventress as his acolyte.
Yep,
exactly.
So who's the master?
It's like Vader had.
And wasn't official they already renewed for season 2?
Apparently,
which would mean this.
Apparently, it's been cancelled.
Shut up.
Apparently, Iger's went fuck this.
Wait, what happened?
Apparently, season 2 has been shelved.
Absolute fake news. I'm not buying it till I see it.
Wait for the Acolyte?
Yeah.
No.
It's got a 4.8 on IMDb right now.
Bespin built it in.
No one would make a decision based off community response.
It's not that. It's not that. It's the press tour and a lot of other things that have been said by the cast and by Leslie Headland. Apparently, it's alarm bells.
Piss off white people.
I don't want them to cancel it. I would love to see a season 2, but I'm hearing it's been fucking shelved because of stuff that's been going on.
Disney has neither confirmed or denied the cancellation or renewal of the Acolyte for a second season. While there is no official confirmation about season 2, and there have been blah 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 blah. So no official.
Think about this. Did you ever hear what an Acolyte was before this? Well, yeah, Old Republic.
Sure, lots of times.
Yeah, hundreds of times.
The Old Republic, the Knights of the Old Republic.
That's at least what I was hearing and reading. Apparently, there's been a big hoo-ha with the press tour. Apparently, it's been a frigging disaster, according to Bob Iger. But we'll wait and see. I hope it hasn't been. I really hope it hasn't been, because, again, from what I've been told, there's a lot of stuff that's not tied up at the end of this season. And we'll see when stuff
they better do it too. Then, jeez.
Well, when stuff that fucking annoys me when series do that, though, they leave so much stuff untied and then it's cancelled. It just pisses me off. But you can't do that with a Star Wars series.
The way I see it is, Bob Iger should have watched it months ago and be like, no, don't like it, cancel it now, don't release it. Do what they did with Batman, because now the rest of us are gonna watch it. Like, what now? What?
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't supposedly canceled at one point or shelved at one point?
Shelved.
Yeah, just 6 months ago, apparently it was shelved.
Mm-hmm.
And then they realized
reshot stuff and
180
made
mil-
it workable or something, right?
well, $180 million was too much to put on the shelf. You know?
That's a lot.
I guess we'll see at the end after episode 8 and see how everyone's reaction to it is, and if it's a reaction the fans like it, that's when it comes to decision whether to make a season 2 or not. A lot of successful shows, they get renewed either at the very beginning or halfway through.
Yeah.
And so I guess number wise, I have to see viewers. Is it worth even making a season 2? But there was a lot of shit talking for Andor, and they renewed season 2 and filmed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I believe they're done already. They're just editing now. So I don't know.
It doesn't matter if people like it or hate it. It matters who tunes in, and the people who hate it tune in too.
Because at the end of the day, every single one of us have a Disney Plus account. We're paying X amount for Disney Plus account. That's what's paying for the budget for the show. So if everyone is watching the show, that's going to show Disney like, okay, there is something here. We might as well make a season 2 because there are viewers for it. Look how many people showed up to the movie theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Also, as well, I don't know if it's a budget thing. I read somewhere that the budget for Ahsoka season 2 was north of 140 million, close to the Acolyte. Which, what was Kenobi's? 50, 60, 70?
80, I think.
80 million, something like that.
I mean, come on, they made Bad Batch season 2.
Yeah.
Season 3 was good,
And 3.
but they still made it season 2 after season 1, and then some people didn't like season 2. But
I was
going to
say that earlier. When you guys
I like
were
season
talking
3.
about the
Season 3 was great.
I sincerely hope it isn't cancelled. You know, because I think this is what I think, right? I think people are going to get to episode 8 and go, "Holy shit, what a fucking show!"
Yeah, it's very possible.
That's what I personally think. You know,
think about the Clone Wars.
What happens.
Yeah, Clone Wars.
Who likes season 1 of the Clone Wars?
Fucking disaster, and then all of a sudden, one of the greatest animated shows of all time.
Rebels season 1 of Rebels wasn't that great, but then it got fucking amazing in 2.
They talked about how shitty the movie Tron was, but they still made a ride for it. Still cost them a couple $1 million to do it, but they still made a ride for it.
Yeah,
and I want to ride it.
Same.
It's a great ride.
Tim didn't like it. Let's gang up on Tim.
I'm going to politely disagree.
I will fight you.
Guardians of the Galaxy is a great ride. Tron.
That is an amazing ride.
Tron is.
In terms of, forgive me, I'll just refill my vape here.
Is there a way to look at the views of like how many views like the episodes are getting?
I thought they said it was the most streamed premiere ever or something like that. I could have swore I saw a note on that somewhere.
I don't trust.
I could believe that.
Yeah, I think that the haters
or for Disney
harder than the people who like it.
I mean,
it probably an asterisk like it was just the most streamed Star Wars show ever, or the most.
The Acolyte reaches 4.8 million views in one day. It's the biggest Disney Plus launch of 2024.
Right. Well,
2024.
Yeah. So 4.8 million views.
And they're
That's a big
thinking
asterisk.
they're thinking about canceling it. I call bullshit.
I mean, with all the press that it was getting and all the talk people were having good and bad about it, I'm not surprised it had a huge opening, at least for this year.
Well, the apparent problems I heard was the press tour. Apparently, it's been defined as a disaster.
Well,
I mean, what's his name said that Anakin is the one who blew up his Death Star, so let's start there.
But that's the only
And
thing.
the director or one of the writers said the show was made to make white people cry. That's not going to go over
There's
well.
just certain things that shouldn't be said in certain places, right?
Yeah, and there's the one that I saw most recently was I hear this is the gayest Star Wars show ever, and Leslie's like, "Oh, is it really?" And
Star Wars.
That was an awkward conversation. That she tried to handle the question well, but that one was a little strange.
Failed.
Well, and then the interviewer says, "Well, Star Wars fans are gay, so yeah, Star Wars is gay," or something. I forget what he said, but I was just like, "Huh, man, this guy's really talking out of his ass." Maybe think just like for 1 second before he says stuff.
It's. I think this is kind of what they're talking about when they say that the press tour has been a disaster. It's been certified fresh at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Sorry, tomatoes.
93.
93.
Is that
So it went
critic
up.
or audience?
I don't know. I'm just seeing this done just now. Carly King just posted it on Discussing Film. The Acolyte certified fresh at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, the third highest rated Star Wars series.
So it went up because it was 83.
On IMDb, it's 4.8
Out of 5?
10.
out of
Ooh,
10.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I feel like this is
It's-
one of those shows. Like, you guys noticed that Disney's been releasing certain series with 2 episodes
Yeah.
start, and low key, it's actually pretty important for you to do 2 episodes to try and get people invested within those first 2 episodes. Because honestly, if Acolyte came up with 1 episode, I watched it, I'd be like, oh, that was it.
Well, this is the reason they've done the 2 episodes was because of the twins. That was the whole kind of
Exactly.
opening. There was the
It's
opening
always like
plot line.
there's always like a extra story attached to the first episode to make it make sense.
It's like a double entendre, isn't it? It's like, oh, we're going to make you think this is the plot when actually over here, which I'm fine with. But one thing I will say is 3 and 4 are not filler, but slow burners. And then 5, 6, 7, and 8, the second half of the series apparently is just it pops.
I don't mind if
and it
episodes
goes
are slow
off.
burners as long as they're good.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a lot of
if
Andor
they're slow
was
burners,
slow,
at least
but
let me make it.
It was great.
It's got to make sense. If you're gonna make a slow
Yeah.
burner episode, make it make sense. Make it to where 3 and 4 are burners, and then 5 is like, okay, I appreciate 3 and 4 a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's why whenever there's slow episodes or nothing really happens, I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. But then once later episodes come out, and I'm like, okay, I appreciate those episodes a little bit more just because now it all makes sense.
So I've just
Seen a
popped
bunch of-
onto Rotten Tomatoes just now. Sorry, Elvis. The tomato meter's at 92%. Audience score 29%.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over 2,500 ratings.
That's straight caca.
Are we able to
2,500?
vote?
Did you say
I'm sure
2,000 or did you say 200,000? I missed the number there, but if it's 2,000, then who cares?
over 2,500 ratings.
The IMDb had
That's
over
nothing.
12.
You should actually know what we should do. We should screenshot that, and then at the end of the series,
Yeah, I'm
screenshot
gonna,
it
yeah.
again and make the comparison.
idea.
See
That's
if
a good idea.
things changed in people's perspective of the story once it ends.
Yep.
I'm
I
gonna do
agree
that with
on
the
that.
Fucking homework.
Why are people putting ratings in on a show that's only 2 episodes in, though? That's kind of crazy to me. Are they rating the episode or are they rating the series?
Internet.
This is the thing. man.
Internet, yeah.
Internet.
People are just never happy, right?
2,000
never
people are
be.
like, I'm going to show Disney. like, way to go.
Like,
guys.
I'll admit the story so far is like, yeah. But you
It
know,
is,
I hate
it is, yeah.
what I hate the most, lightsabers. That's it.
There's the
They're
thing is
boring looking.
with the story so far, right? It leaves a lot of questions. So doing that double premiere, it leaves a lot of kind of questions. Obviously, the obvious one: oh, what happens next? But Khmer, the Sith, what's Saul going to do? Because he's very kind of Qui-Gon Jinn. He's Qui-Gon Jinn Weasley. He's kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit and pushing a bit of pushback with the council. Who's in charge of the council? Is it Yoda just now? You know, are we going to end up having Yoda barking at Saul? Hey, John.
Couldn't help but laugh.
You can join from the car, John. Come on.
Yeah, do a join.
Why is there always a big
Dude, I'm
live
in a
stream
hotel
while sitting in
room.
the car at a soccer game? I'm sending Jonah.
Here's, you know what I'm really hoping for. Soul was a badass when it came to what he was doing. I cannot wait to see him with a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, out of everyone in the show, that's the one person I'm like hyped to really see what he can do with a lightsaber. This guy does have martial arts background. Like, he better kill it. If he doesn't kill it, I'm like,
Mm-mm. He's going to pull a Qui-Gon. He's going to get killed, man.
straight.
He based I heard he based his character off of Qui-Gon. That just makes me think, this dude's dying.
So
It's
both
sad.
I
of
hope not, but
them, avenge him.
The very fact though that he didn't even pull his lightsaber out when he was fighting me, and he is such a badass. You know, and this is the thing as well about the era that we're in, right? We're in, okay, coming towards the end of it, but we're in the peak of the Jedi. You know, everything's very, very different. The teachings have obviously changed to a certain degree, right? In terms of,
it's been limited.
You know, rules of engagement and things like that. There's been a lot of hand-to-hand combat opposed to let's just pull out a lightsaber, which is what we're used to. You know?
Yeah, I also got the impression that from Saul that the Jedi have started to kind of shy away from attachments now.
Yeah.
Because it kind of seems like it was okay to be attached to someone, but from what they were saying, it's like, oh, no, we're not doing that anymore.
Well, I liked his answer, though, right? If we don't revisit our memories, we'll make the same mistakes again.
Yeah.
Or to something to that degree. Which is something that Qui-Gon would say. He just did that pushback, you know? So, there's definitely something with Saul. I'm really interested in seeing a few things. Obviously, the light whip in action and how they're going to do that properly. Because that's just... I mean, having a laser sword's one thing, but a laser whip, that's... I mean, that's some pretty safe hands they better be in.
That's going to be interesting to see.
You know,
Yeah, when
I
it
wonder,
comes to the
wonder how many-
teachings, I just thought of something though, Sam. I think the stuff that Soul was saying to the younglings, aren't those straight up said in all the other movies? Like, for example, Obi-Wan
Oh, yeah.
in A New Hope saying, you know, the face guard, he's like, don't trust your eyes, they deceive you, or something like that. Like,
Yes.
didn't Soul say that? I
Yes.
feel like everything he said has been in movies like that we've heard Jedi say. I could be totally wrong on that, but I know
No,
that.
you're-
Obi-Wan said from
You're-
original trilogy.
You're bang on, right? It's just, I think that there's the teachings in terms when it comes to rules of engagement. You know, because
Oh,
no one's...
yeah. No one
one's
pulled a
really,
saber.
apart from the dude really that was in the temple.
You're-
You know,
But he's also got a gold saber, so dude's a badass.
yeah.
I love how
Well-
he used it as a flashlight, like Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that as well. It's a
Straight from
nice-
the game.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like,
Plus, also as well, he keeps on like he's just been promoted to knight, right?
Mhm.
But he keeps on being outdone by the apprentice.
That
Did you
means he
notice
wasn't that good. Because he looks older too. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, even like on the planet, I forget which planet it was. You got the bigger guy with he had the Padawan braid. How
yeah.
old are you, bro?
yeah.
That
Yeah.
you're still a Padawan, bro. You're like 40. Like, what
Because
is
there's an
happening?
age limit too, right?
I assume so.
So when
until
someone,
this guy.
Yeah.
Well, now there is, you know, in the current era there is, but we don't know necessarily in the High Republic.
That's true, because 100 years, a lot can change in 100 years. So would they change it?
The biggest thing I want to take away from this series is how things happened 100 years prior to seeing why things were the way they were in Phantom Menace. Right? So talk about the age thing.
Something happens in this time period that causes a lot to change 100 years from that moment. To
Now-
why the younglings have to be at a certain age, to why
why they're
everything else.
Right.
blind to all this.
No, I just want to go back to Osha for a second, because she started her training, but they were basically said, "Oh, she's too old. She's too old. She's too old."
Didn't they say she was 8?
She was 8.
She was 8, and
Yeah.
how old was Anakin? 10,
And
right? So nothing's really changed there. That's
9.
still the
He was
same.
9.
9, yeah, 9.
Because
So
the Weird Al Yankovic song says, though he was 9 and she was 14, he's probably going to marry her someday. Yeah.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
I like that song. It helps me remember everything.
What's
from the
up, Woodrow?
Phantom Menace.
How you doing, bro?
Good song.
yeah,
What's up, bro?
He was a knight for 2 years. So
Going back to
I
using
just-
a saber as a flashlight reminded me of this right here.
I remember that.
We were trying to find something on the
We did
map. I
that-
was like, anyone got a
we did
light?
that all
And
night.
everyone did it immediately.
it's I don't know. I just really find it it's an intriguing time. The storyline I promise you guys, at least from my perspective, at least it's going to come alive. And I sincerely think we'll be sat here in 6 weeks' time going, that was a nine. That series was a 9. Right? And I sincerely hope that.
Somebody
I
record that.
sincerely hope that.
Just
Hey,
in
it's all
case.
getting
I'm
recorded.
sure I'll like it, but it's not going to beat Ahsoka. I mean, come on.
What did you give Ahsoka?
9.5. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. We
isn't gonna
never
beat-
did the final episode for Ahsoka.
I know, bro. Sorry, man. I got depressed. Anyway, I honestly, I just think it is. I think y'all are gonna turn around and go 8 or 9 overall.
I hope.
I
So.
mean, I'm already at a 7, so.
Yeah, no, I'm at a 7 right now. I got an open mind. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, like
6.
9 is Andor for me, and I mean, it's going to be tough to beat that show.
I also really like Andor.
Without a lightsaber. It's Star Wars with no fucking lightsaber, and how do you do that with Andor? So,
Yeah,
but right now,
gritty.
I agree with everybody. I'm at a 7. I'll still watch. I enjoy it, but I think where I'm disappointed so far is I kind of felt like this was going to be a story of the Sith, and it's not yet. It's more
When
of
they
a
first
story
announced Acolyte, that's what we all said. Finally, a show that follows the Sith.
show about the Sith, and it's
That's
not.
not
It's
what
a
we're
show
getting
about
so far.
maybe the downfall of the Jedi. There's some Sith in it, but it's not a show about the Sith, and I want to see a show about the Sith.
Not yet.
Because it's supposed to, even Leslie Headland said it was going to be from the Sith's point of view.
Well, we're only 2 episodes in though, and
Mhm.
the first 2 episodes' job is to introduce all the players. So we don't know where we're going to go. Like we could episode 3, boom, we're on the
All
other
the-
side.
And
Of
maybe
the
the
players
point
from
of view
one
we're seeing
side.
is a Sith's point of view.
Yeah, we don't realize it, and that'd be pretty cool too. You know.
Just to answer
unless they
Joseph's
want
question.
us super invested into these characters, so then when we flip over to the Sith and everybody dies, we're like, oh shit.
Kind of like Tales of the Empire.
Yeah.
Or they
Yeah.
just show us the Jedi, doing stupid shit, making stupid decisions, and we start to basically feel the same way about the Jedi as the Sith feel. And she does like a masterful job of basically making us feel like the Jedi are the bad guys.
Which is why the change happens 100
Yeah.
years.
Mm-hmm. I just say
That-
That's
I
possible.
like that. I
I'm
like
not
that.
I
giving
like that
up
a lot, actually.
a lot of potential.
Like I said,
Um,
something's got to happen in this time period that causes that big change, and the way you worded it is a good way of
Yeah.
wording it. That was good. No, I agree.
Just to
Yeah,
quickly answer
so just like
Joseph.
Sebastian says right there, Jedi cover up. I'm calling it. I 100% agree.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm always gonna revert back to the Phantom Menace. Whenever they mentioned the Sith, there was a Sith, and the way that Yoda looks at Mace Windu, the way Mace Windu looks at Yoda.
Yeah,
It's like, oh,
that
shit, they're
that
gonna find
glance
out.
of exchange that they were like, yeah.
There was Daddy Mundi who's like, no, the Sith, they haven't been around for a generation.
Yeah.
A millennia.
Oh,
To
millennia.
them,
Yeah.
to them was a millennia. Yeah. In reality, it's been 100 years, so there was a cover up. I'm excited now, actually. Look,
See that there's a cover up, then everybody that sees that the Sith in this show has to die. Otherwise, all of them.
I wonder
It
if the
seems to-
fire is a cover up, because when Master
Oh,
Tobin
it is.
says
I
we
I was just
thought,
going to say, there's already been a cover up, yeah.
we
Yeah.
thought we were doing the right thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
the cover up was what's causing the downfall of May.
And
Yep.
Green Jedi Lady
Yeah.
said no when told Saul when he was going to get May or O'Shea's like small team, as little as possible. It was like it's
Oh,
already
yeah,
like
they
you're
won't be a
trying to
secret.
have the least amount of people know what's going on.
Yeah. There's definitely a thing there with the fire. There's obviously the Master Tobin. There's definitely already a cover up at play. It definitely seems like it's like the Master, and I think we would say that Mace Windu was the second in command, right? He was
Hey,
kinda like
did
the
they say who the fourth Jedi is that you? I mean, I know one of them.
Saul.
Yeah, Soul,
Killed-
Kalnaka, Tobin.
Okay, so
and-
it's
Wookiee.
Kalnaka.
yeah.
It's the Wookiee, yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's,
how is she going to take out a Wookiee without a weapon? Let's be friggin' honest.
No shot.
that's
Pass.
she's gonna go weaponless after Soul, I guess. Because I'm with you. She's got to use a saber or something to get
She's
sent.
got to use something, right? It's yeah. The I was just going to say the high up master and the second in command would obviously be the ones who know. So I'm assuming, and I'm assuming this, if Yoda is still the Grand Master, just now 100 years prior, is who is his second in command, and
I
when
don't think
do
he's
they?
the Grand Master in the High Republic books, because he's off like teaching the young Jedi and stuff, right? He's I don't maybe.
But some of those books were like 200, 300 years before this.
That's true.
So
But
we need to find out who the Grand Master is, because there's a chain here, and there's a
You
chain
think we'll
of
see
command.
Yoda?
And there's,
Honestly, I think at the very end of episode 8.
I would love to see a small cameo of Yoda. Again,
I'd love to see,
just enough familiarity with certain things, because we know what era we're in. You know,
Whatever happens at the end of this, it's okay. Let's just say it's not even episode 8. Let's just say they do a season 2, and it ends at season 2. The whole story. Yoda has to show up at one point to let him know what happened.
Yeah.
Whether it's a full-on blown conversation between them, or it's like, I think it's time that we notify Master Yoda. Something in that form of a name drop to allow him to know what's going on, which causes the change over the course of 100 years. So like, okay, age, we can't do too old anymore. Just like Johnny said, that guy was too old and he had a Padawan braid.
Mm-hmm.
So the age has to change. We have to change blah, 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 because we cannot let this happen again.
yeah,
Which then does happen again in Anakin, but you know.
yeah.
I got something.
Oh, go ahead.
With a
All
smirk.
right. So stay with me on this and think about what Chris was saying, how this is 100 years prior to Empire. So that would leave roughly 15 years of, Anakin growing up from, Phantom Menace to Empire, right? So that's 85 years. Yoda became a Grand Master 82 BBY. It says from Wikipedia. So
Right.
wouldn't that mean that's like 4 years from now?
Yeah.
So could this turn into a cover-up at the end of season 2 or something? And that's when Yoda, they make him Grand Master and he makes the decision, okay, none of this ever happened. Like it could totally end that way.
So right now he'd be like a
don't
Jedi.
do
He'd be like a Jedi. He'd be a Jedi Knight right now then.
Or
Master,
he could
just not a Grand Master.
Or he could,
Yeah,
he could be like second in command or third in command, something like that. Yeah.
He'd be Mace Windu. But
Right,
currently
yeah.
now is where Mace Windu was
He's
in the
on the
prequels.
council.
In his little
I
ass
would
chair.
think so.
Which begs the
Aw.
question: who is the Grand Master right now?
I don't get the impression that it's Venestra, but I think she's definitely a council member.
Yeah, her mannerisms, the way she approaches things, the way she gives me that same.
She's also barking the orders.
Yeah.
She gives me that same
I
vibe.
get what- Yeah.
I want to see
She
more of
could
the
totally
Jedi
be
Temple.
Grand
To be
Master.
honest. I want to see more of the Jedi Temple. We saw the outside of it. It looks really nice. I would love to see
Yeah.
the inside, what they do with it. Just as long as they don't overuse the volume for it. I really hope they use practical effects along with volume. But I
Building
wanna
a
see more of it.
full-size Jedi temple. There's 180 million right there.
Perfect.
Has there ever been a Star Wars movie or TV show that explains the origins of the Sith? Perhaps this show will talk about it. It seems like that.
Origin of Sith goes back a couple thousand years, especially
It
with
goes way back.
yeah, with God, what's his name? Revan.
Mhm.
That's 1,000 years, right? 1 or 2,000 years before the prequels.
Because
It goes
it's
back
also
even
come
farther
from
than that.
Acto, so I think it's more like 10,000. I could be
Yeah,
way
yeah.
off, but
Some more, yeah. But it's. I don't think there is
The
no
Sith-
actual origin
The
of
Sith
what
originally was a species.
is what?
okay.
The Sith was originally a species that the Dark Jedi had something to do with, and then they took the name over.
Was it? Okay. I heard it called a
Oh.
race, but I didn't realize it was a
Oh yeah,
species.
the Sith was a race of like
Okay.
kind of devilish looking aliens.
This one here from Seabass, though.
That's exactly. I think that's part of the cover up.
the Sith is never revealed to the Jedi. Whatever.
But the
Everyone.
Jedi know about him, so whether the name is revealed or not, a Sith exists that will need to be covered up because otherwise
Yes.
Coyote Mundi wouldn't say the lie.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus, on
That's
top
why
of
that
that as
makes
well, you can't have so many. I mean, you look at that part in the trailer, right, where the Sith reveals himself or herself. and everyone ignites their lightsabers, right? Like they all have to die, and if they all die, or if they don't all die, right? But at some point you kind of really have to, because, like you said, there is going to be a cover up because of Kiara. But, and I'm getting to my point, but I fucking forgot it. That was it.
Well, the Sith can't die because it has to be within the line of the Sith.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he could die, but then the apprentice would just take over.
The apprentice, and the apprentice dies.
I feel like Plagueis would have to be the apprentice, but I guess it wouldn't have to be for like 20 years.
Or maybe they're not a Sith.
The thing is, how
all.
long does it take to learn to be a Sith? Like, how come Dooku could learn it like between a movie? You know what I mean? If it's a rule of two, and he had Darth Maul, and then all of a sudden he had Dooku, how did Dooku learn all this stuff so quick? It seemed quick.
Well, didn't it Tales of the Jedi he was kind of leaning that way already?
Like maybe he was an acolyte for a while?
Well, it just kind of showed that he was just getting kind of fed up with the Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fed up with the war.
Like, oh, okay. Okay.
I just honestly think that the whole cover up thing is bang on, because again, if it wasn't covered up, it would be in the archives, and if it was in the archives, Kiara Moody wouldn't say, "Oh, they've been extinct for over a millennia." So there was a cover up. It wasn't in the archives. It wasn't on record.
Yeah, but things can always be erased from the archives, according to episode 2.
On the archives, Camino.
Yeah, they can be erased, but you look at the likes of who was in that chamber when he said that.
Or maybe
Plo Koon,
none of the council from the prequels even knows, and whoever knew died before Yoda even took over. You're just basing on the look. Maybe the look was like, oh, the Sith. Maybe they just don't believe it. That the Sith
Got
are
a little
even
cameo here, guys. A little cameo.
Hey!
Oh, Johnny!
What's up?
What's the score?
I don't know.
He wasn't even paying attention the entire time. He was just there.
I show up, I Uber here, the kids, and whatever.
How's it going, dude?
How'd you like Acolyte, dude?
I don't know. Honestly,
that's exactly how I ended it too. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're 2 episodes in, and so I'm really trying to keep my mind open on it. It's some of the marketing and stuff has been a little bit annoying, but I'm really trying to block out all of the marketing stuff, because God, there's just so much hate, and it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
What's crazy is, Elvis, at Star Wars night, we didn't see a lot of Acolyte.
Yeah, amazingly, there was nothing Acolyte at
No,
Disney.
yeah, I didn't see a thing of Acolyte there, which is just a couple months before, we're watching it now.
Well,
a couple months,
you're
a
not
month
wrong,
before.
John. It's been shoved down our throat. I've stopped liking Star Wars posts at this point. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep scrolling. I don't even want to know what they're saying right now. Like, it's
there's been so much in terms of the marketing for it. Like, it started properly started about 6 weeks ago. It got a little bit more and a bit more every week, a bit more, a bit more, a bit more, and then every day it's like, oh, I've seen this. Oh no, I haven't. It's new. And like, how many trailers?
I missed the whole trailer because I thought I had already seen it.
Yeah.
Right before I watched the show, I watched the trailer that was on there, and I was like, shit, there's shit in here I haven't seen yet.
Hearing the Sith's voice at the end of episode 1, I didn't realize that was in a trailer. I was like, I don't like the voice, and then someone's like, what? We already heard the voice. I'm like, we did?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's I think. Do you think the marketing was made so aggressive because they kind of knew there might be a backlash to it, or
that's where the 180 million went?
I was gonna say that.
It was in marketing, right? Yeah,
exactly.
It was.
They only spent 80 million on the show and 100 million on marketing.
Yeah.
I get some billboards.
100
I
million
don't
on
know.
marketing.
Some of the marketing I feel it was fine, but I think it's the interviews that came out. I think like the most hated interviews with the director and the actress and what I forget what the guy's name is that plays the guy who's like he was like Anakin blew up the Death Star and he said that 8 times and I feel like those interviews were the biggest mistake to put out there, and these comments about C-3PO and it's like, oh my god, I'm like, you guys are like putting the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that's what it was. She said, "Is there a character more gay than C-3PO?" That's what the director said. That's what I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I got a video for you after that. When we're done, I'm playing this video. You guys are going to hear exactly where she got that from.
Yeah, she called C-3PO a lesbian, and there's nothing more gay than Star Wars, and she's totally down for it. And I mean, whatever. I mean, make what you want, but I mean, we live in this world where Star Wars fans are the most brutal fans on earth. And it's like, if you don't think there's going to be a backlash from any little thing you say, I don't know what you're thinking or what franchise you think you're part of.
She knows exactly what kind of backlash she's going to get. I don't think she gives a shit. I think it's
I don't think she does either.
Which is,
didn't she say she wants to make people uncomfortable?
Just make
years
good
ago.
Star Wars. I don't give a shit what your agenda is. You can have your agenda. Just make good Star Wars and slip it in there kind of on the sly. Make it subtle. Don't I don't know.
I'm waiting for the whole show to be a metaphor or something about like
for the labia,
choosing your gender or something, or I don't know, but the whole dyad, light, dark, the twins. There's something's there. I don't know what
no
it is
one's
yet.
gonna tell us the Force is female in this,
Or one of the twins is gonna be like, I'm a guy.
You're absolutely spot on with the press junket stuff, though. That did not go well for them. They should have had that a little more on lockdown of what was allowed to be recorded.
Oh, absolutely.
Or put out on the internet.
That was brutal. I've been really trying my best to avoid as many interviews and as many reviews and stuff, like, because I know like some people saw 4 of the episodes already, and I'm trying to avoid it all because I really want to just make my own opinion on this when the whole show is over, not on 2 episodes. And that's like one of the biggest problems with things like IMDb and what's the other one, Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that. One of the most difficult things to go by, especially on Rotten Tomatoes, is a television show rating that hasn't even finished yet. So what is it that you're rating? 2 episodes have been released. You're judging a whole 8-episode series on 2 shows, and like 8 episodes of 30 minutes. Where did this $180 million go?
This is exactly what we're talking about like 10 minutes ago. Sorry, was like, these the Rotten Tomatoes scores of like 21%, 23%. You can't review a whole series or show on 2 episodes. Like, it's 25% of the fucking series.
Yeah.
So we need to wait until everything's look who we got in the building. Seriously, Star Wars.
I think that might be one of Disney's biggest problems. It's like they're putting these episodes out, and I think they need to get back to these theatrical releases. Get away from the TV series for a while and tell a story. Even if the movie's 3 hours, just tell a story in full and not let people go home and judge a whole series on like what were the shows, like 35 minutes each?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Average around about that.
8 shows based on an hour worth of footage. And I think that's one of Star Wars' big problems right now, is that, well, one of many problems, is that they're not putting out stories in full. They're just letting people hammer them episode by episode, and people give up 2-3 episodes in and they're done.
No, you're bang on, man.
The worst part about that is that you can have a show that's like a couple episodes that are okay, and that third one is terrible. And exactly like you said, now people are like, "Oh, that's it for me." I'm like, you have 5 more episodes to go, right?
Well,
that
look
third
at
one ruined it for
Andor.
me.
Look what happened with Andor. But it was such a slow burner. People were losing their shit.
Oh, I checked out. I don't think I've watched Andor in full once. I've watched it in pieces because I keep falling asleep. I know a lot of people love that show.
Oh, it's my favorite Star Wars show.
Yeah, it absolutely bores me to death every time I try to watch it. I gave up on it.
And this is the thing, though. This is why everything is so subjective, right? Because we all love different aspects of different things about the franchise.
Yeah.
You know,
I love Book of Boba Fett, and everybody else kind of like, on it.
Me too.
Dude, I enjoyed Book of Boba Fett.
I don't hate it at all.
I never said you guys hate it. I just said they're like, take it or leave it. And I'm like, I fucking love it.
It's lower ranked on my list, but my whole list is good. So
the best part about it is whether the show is good or bad or whatever, guess what, guys? We're still getting more Star Wars content now than we did.
Yeah.
Bingo.
So from when the Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005, we had to wait 10 years until the Force Awakens came out.
Yeah.
Just to see how Star Wars. Granted, we had Clone Wars in between. We had different things
Rebels
in between,
and
but
stuff,
we've had to wait 10 years just to get another Star Wars movie, and then give it another 5 more years. We finally got the Mandalorian. So yeah, we're getting more content. We're getting different content.
Yeah,
not everyone's gonna like it. Not everyone's gonna hate it.
More content just simply doesn't mean quality. I mean, even
Yes, I
the
agree.
creators in Marvel, they said we've done too much. They're just spitting things out left and right, and the quality. One of the biggest things with Marvel is that we followed along these characters in Iron Man and all these for what 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then here you come out with stories like, let's say, The Acolyte, right? I don't give a crap about anybody in this show. You know, you got
not yet, right?
What's her name? May?
Yeah.
May and Osha,
right? She's well, the dark one, the May, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. She's coming in, and and like taking on Jedi left and right for a story plot that I have no idea. And I'm like, well, I'm not attached to this. They just killed Trinity. Oh, well, that sucks. I don't know why. You know what I mean? It's just like they dug right into the story of something that none of us were involved in, and it's so hard to wrap your head around that sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
it might make it better though in the end.
Maybe, but I do wish that.
Like if you knew Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time, would you have liked that movie? I'm just saying.
But it was a movie. It was a movie. It was a fully told story from the start to finish, in a sense. You know what I mean? And it was done very well. But like things like this, like Star Wars, it has been told over 9 movies, but 8 of them or 6 of them were actually good. You know what I mean? But it's like sometimes it takes a little bit to develop these stories. Look at Harry Potter. You know what I mean? Like I was so invested in Harry Potter over how many movies did they have?
9?
You know,
8 or 9.
Is it right? 8 or 9, right? And it's like if something happens to one of these main characters throughout the story, you're heartbroken. If anything happens to these characters in 8 shows, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like they're not developing these characters; they're just spitting out 8 episodes for these shows, and they're like 30 minutes each. And you don't get involved. You don't really, devote yourself to anything. And I think
that's the hard part
might
about
be
shows.
the biggest problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought because let's just say at the end of this show, they were like, okay, never mind, the show was actually pretty good. But you're telling me I have to wait 6 more weeks for that to happen?
Right.
And that will turn off a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Like I'll sit there just like, okay, here we go again. But then, okay, that was actually a good episode.
Yeah. And then after this, we have to wait for another season, another season. But it's like you got 2 years until you get another 8 shows?
The one thing that when it comes to a series, right? The one thing that they always have to do, especially if it's a spin-off or a branch from another off a franchise rather, they have to make sure that with every series they add value to the existing content, right? Because that's the tie back. If they don't add value to the existing content and, like John was saying, make us care about those characters or that character and why they're important to the overall fucking arc, right? Then what is the
I
point?
agree and disagree though. Because don't you want a new story?
Huh?
I mean, don't you want a new story? Like, I'm all for it tying back to Star Wars, absolutely.
Oh, no, I'm not saying tying back as such. I'm saying it has to add value and it has to make sense. Like, yeah, we're in a different time period just now, but we're very, very close to the Phantom Menace, and there's obviously a reason as to why they've done this. It's a little bit more kind of backstory and perspective before the Phantom Menace. Otherwise, if they didn't want it to tie into the Phantom Menace at all, they could have gone 500 years back, 1,000 years back. You know, so overall, I mean, look at the Mandalorian. You know, look at how much value that's added to things like the Clone Wars and Rebels and different characters that we've came across. You know, so I think it has to add value. Otherwise, what's the point? Mandalorian, obviously, we're going to have all these now, the Mandoverse and all the tie-ins with this movie that's going to be happening. You know, so that's their end goal. As long as Acolyte has an end goal, then that's fine.
I think they do. I think there's something beneficial about maybe going back to creating TV series type things like we used to. I mean, television used to give us 20 episodes of 45-minute shows. You know what I mean? They're trying to cram all of this information into 8 30-minute episodes. Right?
Yep.
Oh, 9? How many episodes?
8.
It's 8. No, but I was going 8. I was going along with you, sorry.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's like, but like, I think that's key. I mean, they've cut down TV series so short now, and they're trying to tell these epic stories, but we're missing everything. You know, They could have gone back further. I know they're going to try to do it in flashbacks probably, but they could have gone back further and told a full story if they did it in 16 episodes. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, even if they were 30 minutes, 40 minutes each, that's fine. But give us
Or they could have done a miniseries with 1.5 episodes.
But what?
Or they could have done like a 4-episode miniseries with 1.5 episodes.
Right, something like that. Absolutely.
That would have worked also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd been dope.
Yeah, like 4 mini movies.
Mm-hmm.
Or 4 3/4 length
I'd be okay
movies.
with that. Yeah, I would have been okay with that. Would have made more sense.
It is difficult because we do live in a time where TV and Netflix and all this kind of stuff and the streaming services really they've taken over.
Yeah.
You know, but I think COVID really kind of blew life into that and gave that oxygen to run because people were bored as hell. You know?
Oh, sure.
And there was a lot of stuff still getting made through all that kind of COVID era. But I think it is time now for the movies to kind of come back and take precedent because I think
but you look at where we are in time, which is exactly what you're saying. You know, like during COVID, all of these streaming services made sense. But now you look at streaming services now, there are so many and they're all suffering. They had to all go into offering commercial supported tiers. You know what I mean? They're not doing as well as they thought because that format doesn't work.
Yeah.
Disney Plus still isn't profitable.
No.
Disney isn't profitable.
Netflix is billions of dollars in debt.
Yeah.
You know,
that might also be the reason to make it episodic because they get ad revenue out of watching over weeks versus just
the reason
watching.
behind that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the thing, I don't know if you guys noticed this too, but well, I'm sure you guys already know. Disney now merged with Hulu. So if you watch a Hulu show that's on Disney Plus, you will get those commercials, just like you would on Hulu. That way, both companies benefit and make money off of it because they're not making money.
Yeah, so we haven't had that over here in the UK yet.
Netflix is not making money. They have 290 million worldwide subscribers at an average of $15 a month. Do the math in your head, and they're still not profitable.
No, they are. Netflix is billions of dollars in debt.
Yes, that's how much spending on entertainment. You know.
Yep.
But I do love Netflix.
But the thing is, like that format just doesn't work. You know, it might have been good years ago, but when it was new, it doesn't work. People can't spend $15 here, $20 here, $30 there, plus $110 on their cable, but it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Television worked for generations because it was free. You know, they made their money off of commercials. You know what I mean? And maybe that format is really what's coming back. And obviously it looks like it is because Netflix is also offering commercials and Disney followed up and they're offering commercials. That format works. You know, people can't afford 100 different streaming services.
It's getting out of hand.
You know, you're paying $100 and something for cable, and then you have to pay, you know, another $100 for different streaming services.
See, and that's why I think the future of having that Mando Ahsoka movie that's supposed to come out is so important, because now you're gonna have to make people go back and rewatch Mando season 1, 2, 3, Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett. I think that's where it works. Just like back then, when in the early 2000s, they had the Pokemon show.
Yeah,
and then they released the movies, and then guess what? People went and saw the freaking movies.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's important for Disney to really make this movie happen, because it's going to force a lot of viewers to go back and rewatch it. They may not make their money off of it, but they'll make a little money off the ads. But it's just like, how many shows do you have to cram into a streaming service to try and make it beneficial? Because as of right now, Acolyte's not going to benefit you in the movie because there's no movie planned for it.
But that's the problem with streaming overall. I mean, no matter how many Star Wars or Marvel shows Disney puts out, they're not making any extra money. There is a finite amount of people that you're going to get as subscribers, you know? And if you piss off that fan base with, say, something like Star Wars, and you start losing subscribers, Disney's stock actually went down 2 or 3% right after the Acolyte premiered.
Oh, damn.
That's funny.
That's terrible,
you know
though. See?
2 or 3% for people who have millions of dollars invested in Disney stock is a ton of money lost. You know, so it's
true.
like, you know, if you can put out 1,000 different Star Wars shows, but if every one of them are hated, and it starts, you know, jeopardizing your company, what is it you're making in the end? Because you're just dishing money out into something that people don't want to watch anymore.
I think this is
Star Wars has done better for them than Marvel, though. As far as the shows.
Yeah.
I think it's possibly one of the reasons why it was rumored that Disney was looking to offload Star Wars, offload Lucasfilm, which for me makes no real commercial sense.
I thought they'd actually made a shit ton off of the Star Wars. Like they paid $5 billion, but have already made like $100 billion off. Now that doesn't Plus is profitable.
Well, you're talking about a franchise versus Disney Plus.
Exactly. They're making it off of Star Wars, so you know they'll still
because
churn out.
Didn't they tell their writers or something to focus on Star Wars and not focus on other things? Like they created a group of people just focus on this.
I thought they came out recently, and there was an article that came out recently that said that they hadn't made back anywhere near what they spent on Star Wars.
I could be wrong, but I thought they had.
Well, granted, there is other expenditure there in terms of, you know, since the initial purchase of, what was it, 4.3 or 4.7 billion?
Yeah.
Right? So granted, there has been more expenditure, Galaxy's Edge, multiple theme parks, obviously, series, movies, merch, so fair enough. I think the total spent in the last 11 years, 12 years since acquisition was at like 7.9 or 7.8 billion dollars, and they've only brought back in 2.7.
Yeah.
Disney indicates that it's seen 2.9 to 3.3 times the return on investment from purchasing Lucasfilm and Marvel. That's grouped together, but it says they've made 3 times as much as what they spent on it.
Yeah,
that's grouped together, right? Okay,
it's the two of them, but you have to think that Star Wars wouldn't be like way negative and Marvel would be way positive to make up for it.
I need to try and find that article because it wasn't Forbes, it was another one.
Forbes, Disney's box office profits fail to cover the cost of buying Lucasfilm, but that's box office profits.
Oh, is that what I read? Okay, that's what it was. So I don't know. It's one of those ones where they obviously want to keep on producing content. Iger seems to. I mean, he's came back and he seems to. I don't know really what's going on there.
That's what they're saying. Since they bought it, sorry, Sam. Since they bought it, the movies they've made, the 3 and Rogue One and Solo, have not made back the money towards what they originally spent on Lucasfilm. So if they had just done the movies, they would be out money.
Right. But everything else they've made. Story. Right. Okay. So that makes sense then. Fair enough. Okay. Well, that's good. Thank Christ. But like, here's the. It's it's one of those situations where you read everything, and is it true that Iger wants to cut back on everything? He obviously wants to cut back on Marvel. When you look at that and you go, well, that's not accurate, because you look at the next phase of Marvel and it's stacked. He wants to cut back on Star Wars, and you look at the timeline for Star Wars over the next 5 years, and it's stacked. There's rumors flying about that Daisy Ridley's been her movie's been cancelled.
I read that too.
I'm calling bullshit.
I thought I just
Doesn't
saw
even
Daisy
make stuff
Ridley.
other than Star Wars and Marvel.
Daisy Ridley was just on an interview with Bon Jovi, like in the last couple of weeks, and she said that movie's a go.
It is a go. She's got a script and everything.
Yeah.
They're starting to shoot it in February, I believe. It's a go.
At least there's a movie coming out.
Then there's the other one with The First Jedi. Haven't heard anything about that. Dave Filoni's movie is obviously still a go. Mando and Grogu. The Adventures of Mando and Grogu.
When is that coming out?
2026.
Jeez. It's only 2 years.
I doubt that. I doubt it. 2026
That's when
is too soon.
That's when it's slated for.
I
Daisy's movie's slated for 2026 as well.
That's right, because there was a couple releases within the same year.
Yeah,
I remember we talked about that. Like, wow, 2 movies in 1 year.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because,
Well, this year we've got Acolyte, we've got Skeleton Crew towards Christmas. Next year we've got Ahsoka Season 2 towards Christmas again, apparently, and Andor Season 2.
Wasn't Rogue One and A Force Awakens pretty close? Or do I have that wrong?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were a
they're
year apart.
Were they a year? Okay.
Yeah, 15 and 16.
I just remember thinking, we have another Star Wars movie already? Like,
No, they were
way.
going to do one every year, basically the trilogy sequel with the standalone in between, in the in between.
Yeah, and then when Solo didn't do so well, they was like, yeah, we're gonna not do that anymore.
man, I liked Solo.
I
I
did
did
too.
too.
I was a fan too.
It was fun. It was
Solo
that's the
was
thing
a
about
good-
the movie. It was a
fun
fun movie. Story was, I'm not gonna say it was perfect, but it was a fun movie to watch.
I like
Everybody hates
Woody
on something
Harrelson
new
in
that-
Solo.
I had a really good time with it.
You know what? I'm gonna watch that tonight. I'm gonna zero up.
Anyway, guys, we're
totally
going
watch
on
that.
nearly 2 hours here. I know some of you said an hour to an hour and a half, so apologies.
Yeah.
But real quick before we disappear, I want one theory or one. God, I'm getting tired. Jeez,
Oh,
One-
I actually have to split. The kids are coming out.
no issues, bro. You take care, man. I'm
All
gonna
right,
watch
guys.
your look review later
Good
on.
seeing you, John.
All
Yeah,
right,
brother.
talk to you guys later.
Later, John.
Take care, bro.
We can still hear you. I'm kidding.
Hey, how was the game? Yeah, before we head out, I'll just quickly kind of zip round and give me a theory or some sort of kind of thought on the next episode. What do you think we're going to see, or even just if you've got an overall kind of theory as to where we're actually heading? I would love to hear it. So we'll do the same again, Chris, through
Go back
Tim, Elvis.
I'm just kidding.
No, I'll start with you, bro.
I don't know. I don't really have much of a theory. That I just think that this is gonna. I still think that whether we have season 1, season 2, whatever, at the end of the series is gonna be the reason why there's a cover up. Why?
Yeah.
All these changes were made 100 years from where we are now. Things are obviously different from now to Phantom Menace. Something within this time period occurs that makes all this changes to why there's so many secrets.
Yeah.
To why things from Camino are being deleted, possibly deleted again. You know, there's a lot of secrets that no one really understands. And so I think this series will be the reason why everything is so secretive.
Yeah, because the prequel era, it does seem very kind of hush-hush and secretive, and you kind of get the feeling off this one, especially off the conversations we've seen between Jedi and whatnot, that everything's a lot more open, and everyone kind of needs to know everything, and things have to be discussed.
Yeah, it's like whenever if you know a secret about something and you kind of nod at each other, because you kind of do one of those like, like I know. That's what I noticed in the prequels. Was there's a lot of or
Wink,
shut up,
wink, nudge,
shut
nudge.
up, like don't say anything type thing. A lot of that was very evident. So I just think this series is be the reason why 100 years from now, that's why the council is the way they are.
Yeah.
Stay on the Sith Day.
I like that theory. Tim?
Just that right now I think that the Sith, if that is what he is, what we saw, he's using
If
May.
it's a he.
Yeah, they are using May to get to Osha, and Osha is their real goal.
I like that. I like that too. Elvis?
I agree based off the trailer where it shows the Sith and Osha like face to face. Like it seems like he wants Osha. Yeah, this thing could go anywhere. I think it's going to be a cover up. I think Osha's going to be powerful, and yeah, that's as much as I've got. I think it's definitely going to be a dyad thing.
Dyad. Okay.
Dyad
in the Force. Gianni V, please.
I'm kind of like, bro, I don't really have. I don't really know where.
I just don't want it to suck.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay as open-minded as possible, and hopefully that it takes us on a journey that we were not expecting, and we're like, damn, all right, that was good, and it makes us rewatch the season over to pick up on all the things that we missed. I'm kind of hoping for that. I think possibly Osha might, maybe come back to the Jedi Order eventually, and maybe there's some big fallout between the sisters already, and there's a fight of some sort. I don't know. I hope it ramps up and it gets really good, and it makes us rewatch the season over. What that looks like, though, I'm not really sure, but I'm hopeful.
Matt?
I'm going to go against what most of you guys are saying, and I think there's probably going to be a cover-up. I just don't think it's going to be as big and Jedi-altering as you guys are saying. I think there's already been a cover-up with what happened to Osha in May, but I don't think it's like the entire Jedi-wide. And I think the only people that are going to either know or see that there is actually a Sith are going to die, and then it's just going to be a big mystery about what happened.
I agree with that. I think the cover-up's just a few people that will know.
Yeah.
And then just like the council's not going to have any idea. It's just whoever was there and saw the Sith are going to die. And like everyone's going to be like, well, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking where all you guys are going with it. Me personally, I think we're going to get Cal Kestis. And obviously not. I'm not that daft. No, I it's difficult for me.
I was just going to
see
train
certain
Yoda.
things.
That's where this is going. I see it.
And then Hippo shows up. I'm telling you,
actually-
Hippo's the maker here.
No, it's difficult for me to say certain things. But what I do think will happen is I think that things will become a lot more apparent very, very quickly as to where, as to what direction we're heading in with the overall plot and storyline. But I'm going to expect the unexpected. I'm not going to. This is the thing with it is expect the unexpected. The Sith, the Ancient Order of Ren, whatever. The more that I think about it, I'm now starting to believe that they might be an apprentice and not a master. And I'm maybe starting to think, okay, was all this talk of Darth Tenebris, maybe was there some substance to that there? So I'm kind of hoping for that, but we'll wait and see. I'm not hoping for
Darth
things as
Tenebris
such. But,
was Plagueis' master?
yes.
Okay.
So that would fit into the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
It would fit in, it would insinuate that every apprentice that he had died up until Plagueis, and then Plagueis kills him, I believe. It would fit into the timeline, but we need to wait and see. So if it doesn't go that way, then they are really messing with our understandings of Plagueis, Sidious, all that kind of stuff. So we'll wait and see. But I'm enjoying it so far. Gents, thank you for your time. Thank you. We've gone about half an hour over, but really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
It's always a pleasure to sit and do these shows and sit and chill out and have a laugh. Always a pleasure. Monday, for anyone who's still watching, keep an eye on my socials. I will be announcing another Saber giveaway. And I may be giving away some other stuff as well.
It's rigged.
It's not rigged, actually.
Yeah, let's see what family member wins this time, Sam.
If it was rigged, I'd win it myself. You know. So, yeah, no. Obviously, you guys know it's not.
Who paid you off?
That was a freak. That was a freak thing that happened. I still can't actually believe that happened. But
who won that? I wasn't. I had to leave.
That was it was Jackson's big brother that won it.
I'm gonna make 4 different like names and then submit all 4 of them.
See, the thing is, people do that, but see, as long as, like, here's the thing: there was a
contest that y'all have had. I haven't won any of them, but
there was a guy that made 4 different accounts, but used the same profile picture in every account. So I just put in one, and then he texted me, he DM me, he was like, "Dude, you only put me in once." I'm like, "Yeah, because 4 different accounts with no followers doesn't really fucking count." You know,
like, just admitted that you did it.
So, like, come on. So I put you in once. Come on. But no, obviously, anyone who enters gets put in, and they've got as much of a chance as anyone else of winning. So, yeah. So Monday, keep an eye on my socials for that. Tuesday, check back on New Type Sith's channel for Stream with the Boys. As well as on Gianna, you doing Wookiee Whispers next week? Gianna's channel, Wookiee Whispers. Make sure you're there as well. Love to chat with Lisi.
Oh yeah,
and
I watched that. I watch all of them.
Good. I know you do. Dude,
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm editing, and then it's on my TV, and I'm like listening at the same time. So I don't want to take up too much time, but I did a Profi video, and then I realized, like, when I was just about to start editing, fucking Gianni's face was right here, and I was like, "Damn!" So I had to film it again.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's beautiful, man. The thing is, that face would take away from the fucking from the video, bro. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like trying to just like talk about Profi, how to do certain things and like things that you need, and I see in the background this. And I'm like, I wanted to keep it. But I was like, yeah, I should probably just remove it.
That's so funny.
That is killer, man. Yeah, the cameo from Gianni. But,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, guys, whoever, if you haven't already, make sure you go and follow and subscribe to all these guys' socials and channels and pages and whatnot. It's been awesome content, especially we've got Chris's beautiful face, we've got Tim's transitions, we've got Elvis's insane artsy hands, we've got that beautiful face from Gianni, and then Matt, we need content from you. Come on, man.
I've been getting ready for this new job, man. It's coming.
I know,
think
bro.
I have all of next.
That does take precedent.
I'm busting your nuts for nothing, man. I'm kidding on, but yeah, please do. And next stream from me will be on Monday, starting a fresh game on Monday evening, 7:30 p.m. UK time, which is 2:30 in the afternoon Eastern. So I don't expect any of the US folk to be around, but if you are, definitely come and say hi. And yeah, we'll be back next Thursday for episode 3 for round 2. But until next time, thank you very much, and may the force be with you all, guys. Take care.
Peace.
Peace.